Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss or revise geography lesson 6 and lesson 7. At first we are going to revise lesson 6, manufacturing industries. At first we have to define what is manufacturing. Manufacturing sector or industrial sector are secondary sector in which we modify the natural things. We utilize the natural thing to manufacture other things, like wood is used for making paper, or paper is made from the wood, sugar is made from the sugar cane, and flour is made from the wheat. These are processes are called manufacturing. Manufacturing sector is a backbone of the economy. When we manufacture different things, when we modify the natural thing, that things becomes valuable, and that valuable thing we can sell in our own country and also in the foreign country, which provides us foreign currency. Some points are given here about that. Manufacturing sector is backbone of economic development. Manufacturing sector help in modernizing agriculture. Different type of tools, machine which are used in agriculture are manufactured in secondary sector, which helps in the growth of different type of crops, different type of pipe are made in factory, in industry, which are used in irrigation for the transportation of water from one place to another place. In this way, manufacturing plays a significant role in the development of agriculture also, and also in the development of nation. Location of industries are influenced by several factors. When we establish factory or industry, it needs different type of things. At first, if we establish large scale industry, it requires huge capital, then labor, the things which are required for establishing industry, which are given here: raw material, labor, capital, power, market, transport system. These all things are important in the construction of industry, and the area where these all things we get, in that area we stabilize industry. The development of industry and the agriculture go hand by hand because there are many industries which are depend on agriculture. The agro-based industry, they provides equipment for the agriculture, and agriculture provide raw material to the industry. Mutually they are depend on each other. And next is types of industry. We are going to discuss about types of industries. Now we are going to discuss about classification of industries. Here, first one is on the basis of raw material used. Which type of raw material is used in the industry? On the basis of that, there are two types of industry. One is agro-based industry. That industry is based on agriculture. They get their raw material from the agriculture, like cotton textile industry, sugar mill, jute industry, flour mill. These all are agro-based industry. And second one is mineral-based industry. Mineral-based industry, they get raw material from the mine, like iron ore, bauxite. Different minerals are there which is used in manufacturing. On the basis of that, industries are known as mineral-based industries. And then next is on the basis of their role. Many industries are there, they play key role for other industry, like iron and steel industry. They provides raw material to many other industry. That is why they are known as key industry or basic industry. Then next one is consumer. In that industry, the things are manufactured for direct use of the consumer, like edible oil, flour. These all things are for consumer and it is sold direct to the consumer. The next one is on the basis of capital investment. If large scale industry is there, then it requires huge capital and more labor. When we invest more than 1 crore rupees for the construction of industry, it is known as large scale industry. And when we use less than up to 1 crore rupees, then it is a small scale industry. Small scale industry requires less labor, less power and less material. But large scale industry requires large number of labor, much capital and more electricity or more power, more transportation system. Then next is on the basis of ownership. On the basis of ownership, public sector, private sector, joint sector, and then the cooperatives are there. Public sector's factory or industry, they belong to government. government take care of the public sector industry and they work for no profit, no loss, and they provide employment. Their main aim is to provide employment to more and more people. And the second one is private sector. In private sector, individuals or group of individuals, they stabilize industry and they manufacture things and they share the profit. And the third one is joint sector. In joint sector industry, the group of individuals or any individuals and plus government, both they take care, they stabilize combinedly the factory and they produce the things. And the next one is cooperative industry. Cooperative industry, mostly like sugar industry, they get raw material from the agriculture. They depend on the farmer, and also farmer depend on that industry for their earning. In this way, they run that factory with cooperation of each other, and this type of industries are known as cooperative industries. Then, on the basis of bulk and weight, the heavy industry, when they carry much load, they are heavy industry, and when load is very less, then they are light industry. These are the type of industry which are the classification of industry. Now we are going to discuss about textile industry. Students, you have studied about our textile production before the colonial rule. Due to colonial rule, our textile industry collapsed, and also the smelting industry collapsed. But in 1854, first cotton industry was stabilized in Bombay, in present time Mumbai. At that time only thread was made there, and after some time in Ahmedabad also one industry set up, and the manufacturing of cotton textile was started. In our country, mostly we sell the thread 80 rupees per kg. If we manufacture textile cloth, by that the cost of cloth is 800 rupees. It is 10 times more than that thread value. But due to the scarcity of good technology and modern machine, we are exporting more thread to the other country. But then also the textile industry is very important, very significant in our country. It provides lot of employment to the people. The farmer which grow the cotton, they sell them in the market, they get the money, they earn the money. Then in market, the cotton is used for making thread is used for making cloth, then cloth is stitched by the tailor. In this way, lot of people, they are getting employment in textile by the textile industry in our country. And then next one is jute mill. In our country, jute mill is located mostly in our eastern northern part of our country, in West Bengal, beside the river Hooghly. River Hooghly, there is a 98-kilometer long and 3-kilometer wide area is there, where jute is grown and mostly industries are also located in that area, and good climatic condition is there for jute production. It requires more water. In that area, water is available in large amount, and also it gets cheap labor from the Bihar, Odisha and West Bengal. That is why the manufacturing of jute take place in West Bengal. Then next one is sugar mill. Uttar Pradesh is the first in sugar production, but in present time Maharashtra is doing good development in case of sugar factory and sugar mill, because the climatic condition of that area is suitable for that sugar to remain in the field for many months. Means crushing of sugar cane for many months in that area, and they can manufacture, they can provide employment to the people for many months. Then next one is aluminium smelting. Aluminium smelting, it is a heavy industry. Heavy material used in smelting is very heavy. Bauxite is used to manufacture aluminium. The next one is iron smelting. Iron smelting is also very heavy industry. In iron smelting, iron is used, iron ore, coal, limestone are used in furnaces for manufacturing steel. In previous lecture, we have discussed about roadways and railways. Now we are going to discuss about waterways. In our country, many inland waterways are there, and the first one is Ganga Brahmaputra river waterways from Haldia to Allahabad. It is the national waterway number 1, and many other national waterways are there which play an important role in the transportation, in water transportation in Kerala and in Tamil Nadu on the river Godavari, Kaveri, and in the canals in Kerala. There are 5 national waterways, and we have 7,516.6 kilometer long coastal area, and 12 major ports are there on that. After independence, there was a partition of Pakistan and India. That's why the Karachi seaport was given to the Pakistan. Then Kandla was created in Gujarat, the new seaport, to bear the burden of the export-import, and it provides facility to Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat for transporting grain or industrial material. Then Mumbai is a very important seaport to reduce its heavy load. Jawaharlal Nehru seaport was stabilized. Then after Marmagao seaport is there in Goa, which is mostly used for the transportation of slurry of iron ore. It is used for exporting iron ore from that seaport. Then in Karnataka, Mangalore seaport is there. From that port also exporting work is done. The iron ore from the Kudremukh iron mine is exported to the other country from that area. In such a way, many other, like Chennai, it is artificial seaport. Then Visakhapatnam is there. Many seaports are there which we use for exporting material from our country to the other country. Then airways. In airways, many domestic air transport is there. It is very costly. That is why using air transport for a common person is not easy. But government has provided services to the eastern northern states of our country, because that area is very tough for going inside. Mountains are there, dense forests are there. That is why some helping programs are there for that area people. Some concession is given to them, and Pawan Hans helicopter is used for the oil field, for going the area which area is not easy to go there. Air transport is very useful in the area which is very tough to go inside. And then the next one we will discuss later. Means of communication. Students, you know very well, in present time, means of communication is very fast. We can communicate with the person of any part of the world very easily with the help of internet, with the help of cellular phone. But before 3 decades it was not so easy. We have developed in this area, and before this there was a post office, and people were using inland letter, postcard to communicate with each other. Now we can communicate with developed technology. Some communication is known as mass media, like TV, radio, magazine, newspaper. With the help of this, large number of people get information. That is why it is known as mass communication. And some is known as print culture. Printing press are there, by which we print the newspaper or magazine. In this way, in present time, communication is very easy. We can communicate to anyone in any area. Then the next comes the international trade. International trade is very helpful to the people of any country. The resources are not distributed equally all over the world. That is why international trade is very, very important. Like in our country, we import copper and chemical fertilizers and many big machines from the other country, and we export them grain and other spices also. And in this way, the trade play an important role for any country.